Welcome to the Dream Season Football League 2020 regular season finale. On tap to begin our highlights is the AFC West duel between the 2018 Chiefs and the 2006 Chargers. I will go over all of the playoff implications of all the games throughout today's video. There are dozens of them. This game has major AFC playoff implications. We see LT score his first rushing and only rushing touchdown of the regular season, and San Diego leads by a touchdown late in the second quarter. Chargers could host the opening round of the playoffs with a win today and a Jacksonville loss. We will see them play later against the Raiders. Speaking of Oakland, the Raiders, if they are to lose, the Chiefs earn a first-round bye with a win in this matchup. Kelsey, the Pro Bowl tight end from Cincinnati, gained 27. Then Demetrius Harris tied the game. But after Tremont Smith fumbled on a kickoff return, Gates is in the end zone. Chargers up by 7 at the half and by 10 in the fourth quarter. 4th and 5, Kansas City goes for it, and Watkins lost the ball. 2 turnovers for the Chiefs today. They had a league-low 3 giveaways in the first 9 games of the season. There's Randall Godfrey, the linebacker from Georgia, who knocks it away. And on 4th down from 61 yards away, Harrison Butker misses the field goal. That's just his 5th miss of the year, and the Chargers win the game. San Diego is 6-4. The Chiefs are 7-3. Kansas City still has a first-round bye if the Raiders lose later today against the Jaguars. So due to the Chargers' win against Kansas City, Baltimore can only hope for the 6th seed of the AFC with a win and an Indianapolis loss. 4 and 5 Ravens play host to the 2 and 7 Steelers in the snow. This game featured 10 punts, 3 missed field goals, and 2 defenses that wouldn't give up an inch. It's 3-0 Pittsburgh with just over a minute to go in the game, and the Ravens orchestrate what they hope is a game-winning and season-saving drive fresh off of their marquee win over Jacksonville to keep their playoff hopes alive. This big 39-yard throw to Qadry Ismail in what epitomizes the game and to a lesser degree the season for Baltimore. A hold wipes it out to Qadry Ismail, and on 4th and 15, the Ravens with 9 seconds to go in the game. Dilfer goes deep and doesn't give his receiver a chance. We will not see the 2000 Baltimore Ravens in the DSFL 2020 playoffs as the Steelers rip the hearts out of all Ravens fans with a 3-0 win. So after the Raven loss, the Jaguars, despite losing 3 of their last 4 games, including to Baltimore last week, they still will make the playoffs. 4th seed with a win over the Patriots, 6th seed with a loss here in Foxborough. And the Jaguars had an excellent game plan to begin the game. The league's leading rusher Leonard Fournette and Keelan Cole, who gains 18 here, sets up a Jaguar field goal. Then New England took the field on offense, and the second-ranked total offense and the best scoring offense, red zone offense, time of possession offense, you get the picture. They put together an incredible game plan with over 400 yards in the game for New England. Maroney has a league high, tied with Devonta Freeman of Atlanta, 8 rushing touchdowns. The rookie from Miami, Brandon Merriweather, returns an interception, 32 yards for a touchdown. And then the Patriots are in the end zone again. Lawrence Maroney is in. Then they're in the end zone again as Randall Gay has 5 picks to lead the league this season. The New England Patriots, AFC regular season champions, that was set back a couple weeks ago. They're in the end zone again. It should be noted, Blake Bortles had a passer rating of 1. For all of you hard at hearing, let me say that again. Bortles had a passer rating of 1 as the Patriots steamrolled the Jaguars. If Jacksonville wins in the AFC Wildcard round, this would be a divisional rematch yet again in Foxborough. Jaguars are 5-5. This is a matchup between the Colts and the Broncos, but many people will know as this turns out to be an incredible game. Peyton Manning's Colts versus Peyton Manning's Broncos is the matchup that we never get to see, but you've got it right here with Charger Dude 95. The 06 Colts with a loss are the 6th seed, with a win are the 5 seed in the AFC. And Manning comes out firing on the first drive of the game. There's Brandon Stokely for 22 yards, and that sets up Joseph Adai's first touchdown of the year. The rookie from LSU had been incredible receiving the ball, but not quite the rusher that the Colts were hoping for this season. Indianapolis has the second best passing attack in the league, led by, of course, Peyton Manning, who will finish the game as the league leader in passing yards. Meanwhile, Peyton Manning's Broncos, it has been a head-scratching year for Denver, yet they do drive downfield before Robert Mathis wraps up Manning, and Denver's forced to settle for a field goal. The Broncos have lost 7 games. 6 of them have been by 1 possession. So Denver is every bit as good as any other team in the league. Unfortunately, though, that defense has been bad. Manning has been interception thrown. There is Gary Brackett with the pick. The Bronco quarterback now has 4 interceptions this year, and that wouldn't be his last pick of the game either. So in the third quarter, Manning hopes to drive downfield, but he is stopped on 3rd down. 3rd and 4, Manning goes deep, and he does find his man late in the third quarter. That is a catch to the veteran from Georgia Tech, Demaryius Thomas. But after the Broncos are stymied on 3rd and goal, to begin the fourth quarter, Denver keeps the offense out there on 4th and goal from the 6. Bad idea. The safety from Ohio State, Mike Doss, intercepts Peyton Manning of the Broncos. Broncos have nothing to play for in this game, playoff-wise, but they'd love nothing more than to beat Peyton Manning's Colts and upend their opportunity to host a playoff game. Under 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter after a Broncos stop, Denver against, ironically, the 4th best defense in the NFL, the 06 Colts. Manning would guide them to the 22. Then for the lead, Manning finds Demaryius Thomas in the end zone. So the Broncos appear to have all but won the game with 48 seconds to go in regulation with a 10-7 lead. Colts still have a shot to potentially win it in regulation, and Manning looks like he may just do that. It's a 46-yard gain to Marvin Harrison, who has had a whale of a year for the Indianapolis Colts with over 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then the Colts' run game puts them inside the 15, but Indianapolis is forced to settle for a Vinatieri field goal. We are tied at 10. Broncos win the opening toss, and Denver could win the game with a touchdown, extend the game with a field goal. The Broncos' run attack, which ironically has been very productive this season, ranked 11th in the league. In a tie game, 2 straight runs from Moreno and then from Hillman sets up this 30-yard completion, 20 yards rather, to Eric Decker. Denver is at the 22. 3rd and short, this could be for the win. Manning finds his man inside the 10. Jacob Tamme, the tight end from Kentucky, reaches the 2. But after 2 runs for losses on 3rd and goal from the 4, Manning has plenty of time to throw for the win, but instead takes a sack by Dwight Freeney, and Denver's forced to settle for a Prater field goal. Colts could extend the game with a field goal, win it with a touchdown. That nearly was a win by the diving Chris Harris. Instead, on 4th and 7, this for a chance to host a playoff game of the future. Manning is looking downfield, and he's got his man inside the 40-yard line on an incredible pass play to Harrison. Then on 2nd and 10, as the Colts march, forget the time, it's their first drive of overtime after the Broncos kicked a field goal. 1st and 10 from the 22, comeback pattern to Aaron Moorhead, the wide receiver from Illinois, who has a total of 5 catches in the regular season. Then Joseph Adai wins the game in overtime. The Manning versus Manning matchup was a great one, and Indianapolis comes back in overtime to knock off the Broncos and put an end to the misery of Denver. Raiders and Jets have major playoff implications too, considering that Oakland has a first-round bye with a win, but Thomas Jones has an incredible performance on display with 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is some foreshadowing. There's Chancey Stuckey in the end zone for the New York Jets. This was a team that waited until then to complete their first touchdown pass to a wide receiver. Then Rich Gannon takes off, and he is hurt on the play. So the veteran from Washington, Marcus Tuiasosopo, is forced to check into the game. It was a brutal start for him. That pass was nearly picked off by Harris. Raiders settle for a field goal. Then Jones, in the play of the week, breaks 3 tackles and is gone from 78 yards. The New York Jets steamroll the Oakland Raiders, led by Jones' incredible performance, and now Oakland has to play on Wildcard weekend, so the playoff matchups are set out of the AFC after this game goes final. The Raiders play host to the Jaguars, and the Chargers are in San Diego to take on Peyton Manning's Indianapolis Colts. The Jets steamroll the Raiders 24-13. This game's got some pretty simple math too. The Eagles and the Panthers are both 4-5. A win and you're in, a loss and you're done, as the winner is the 6th seed in the very crowded NFC playoff picture. After the Panthers kick a field goal from Graham Gano to begin the game, Carson Wentz would come out firing. Zach Ertz, who had 3 catches on this drive for the Philadelphia Eagles and finishes the year second, only to Green Bay's Donald Driver in receiving yards and in catches. He sets up this Shelton Gibson touchdown. The wideout from West Virginia has 2 catches on the year. Both of them are touchdowns for the Eagles. 7-3 fake field goal, and head coach Doug Peterson is shaking his head as Nick Foles is taken down. 7-3 Eagles in the fourth quarter. It seemed the two offenses would be great. That wasn't the case for the next couple of quarters of the game. Here in the fourth quarter, both units would sputter yet again. 3rd and 4, nearly picked off by Norman as he has a house call if he hangs on to the ball. Panthers begin this drive of their own 2 with under 4 minutes to go in the game. Jonathan Stewart, the Pro Bowler from Oregon, has had a sensational season with over 550 yards. He pushes the Panthers out of their own end of the field. Under 2 minutes to go in the game. Newton, the league's leading rushing quarterback, puts the Panthers near the 50. Then here's Jericho Cotchery with a rare catch this year. From the 41-yard line, there's another slant on 3rd and inches. Carolina down the stretch of the game is putting together an incredible drive. Newton dances to the 11. 26 seconds to go in the game. 1st and 10, Newton takes off yet again. He has 297 yards rushing this season, 47 yards of the game. On 2nd and 4, Newton's pass is caught by Stewart, and Carolina wins. The Panthers win the game on a touchdown throw, only the 7th TD pass of the entire year, and first of the season caught by Jonathan Stewart. And Carolina drives 98 yards to win the game and extend the season. As the Eagles, with time runouts, the pass from Wentz is incomplete. Philadelphia won 2 straight games to even put themselves in a chance for the playoffs, but the Panthers stun the Eagles in Philly. This game didn't really mean much of anything. Seahawks will host the entire NFC playoffs as the regular season champions of the NFC. The Bears have secured themselves as a complete train wreck. Safety here, 9-5. Tommy Harris, defensive tackle from Oklahoma, got him there in the end zone. The Bears did knock off the Eagles, and the Seahawks lost to the Eagles this season, so that was interesting. But 4 turnovers by Chicago wipes out any success from Thomas Jones and Rex Grossman. In another ugly game for the Bears, Seahawks dispatch Chicago, led by 4 sacks by, of all players, the most sacks in a game this season for any DSFL player. Go figure, it's Tony McDaniel. There are just too many tiebreakers to talk about right now in the NFC because these are 2 of 4 teams that all in the NFC are 6-3 coming into the regular season finale. But this is huge for the winner with the shots to have a first-round bye if everything goes according to plan. 13-6 going into the fourth quarter, and the Packers rip the Saints defense to shreds. That is an area that New Orleans has to address going into the postseason next week. New Orleans has given up more yards than anybody, and the Packers defense, as on 4th down they stopped Drew Brees, they are 3rd in the league in points and yards allowed, only behind the Seahawks and the Patriots. So this defense looks playoff ready as Green Bay dismantles the Saints in New Orleans. This was one of the craziest games of the year. 0-7 Giants, 0-1 Rams. Both teams have no shot for the playoffs, but every ball seemed to bounce the Giants' way in the first quarter. There's a fumble, just pops right into the hands of Reggie Torbor. 30-yard touchdown pass. That should have been picked off by Enos Williams. Hauled in by Plaxico Burress off of the pass breakup from Williams. Then Kurt Warner believes to have a first down pickup. Nope, that's picked off. Intercepted by the Giants yet again, Jabril Wilson, and New York would cash in that pick with a field goal and another one to begin the second quarter. Kurt Warner somehow sheds 2 Giants tackles and then gets hammered by Yuba Europe and does complete the pass to Marshall Faulk. This would set up the only scoring drive of the game, a Ram field goal. 2 more field goals for Lawrence Tynes of the Giants. New York leads 19-3. On 4th down, Warner's pass is broken up, and the Giants have knocked off the Rams. Giants have been teetering all year. They snapped through the Giants' 7-game losing streak with a win at St. Louis. This is the final game of the DSFL 2020 regular season. 2002 Buccaneers at the 2016 Falcons. This is the other matchup between 6 and 3 clubs. The Buccaneers are the 3 seed with a win. Atlanta is the 2 seed and earns a first-round bye with a win. The loser will visit the Saints in the opening round of the playoffs. After this face mask, go, Joe, go! 52-yard touchdown to Joe Jurevicius. Bucs lead 7-0 against that struggling defense. The offense isn't struggling, neither is the Pro Bowler from Alabama, Julio Jones. Gain of 55. This sets up a Devonta Freeman goal line surge. The Falcon running back leads the league with 8 rushing touchdowns. Yes, that is Devonta Freeman. In the second quarter now, Keenan McCardell gains 20 there. Then Johnson, who is the Week 10 NFC Player of the Week, throws a touchdown pass to Dudley. That's his first scoring catch of the year for the tight end from Ohio State, 14-7. Then Carl Williams muffs a punt. This was the turning point in the game. Scooped up by Keanu Neal, and the Falcons would soon score from there. Wacky muff by Carl Williams. First muffed punt like that we have seen all year. 3rd and 16, there's Julio Jones. 4th touchdown catch of the year, and we're tied at 14. After a Buccaneer 3-and-out, Matt Ryan comes out firing, finding Mohamed Sanu. Ryan played well against the defense of the Buccaneers that has been underachieving this season. That incomplete pass for the Falcons sets up an Atlanta field goal, season-long by Matt Bryant. Then a 3rd down stop by Michael Pittman gives the Falcons the ball back, and there is Freeman off to the races from 66. Falcons lead by 10. Bucs must go for it with under 5 minutes to go in the game. Johnson gets crushed, but keeps the game alive with a first down completion to Ricky Dudley. Then on 3rd and goal, Keenan McCardell makes a magnificent play in the end zone as he taps the feet and scores against, yet again, an Atlanta defense that is struggling, and that is to put it kind. 24-21 Falcons in the fourth quarter, but Freeman wins the game with this 18-yard scamper. And Atlanta will not play until the divisional round as they garner the 2 seed in the NFC. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers will be the 5 seed and visit the Saints next week. So for those of you who got dizzy with all the playoff implications, I've got your final standings in the regular season right here. Patriots and Chiefs earn a bye out of the AFC. So do the Seahawks and the Falcons out of the NFC. Meanwhile, the Raiders host the Jaguars in the first round. It's the Colts at the Chargers. Packers at home to take on the Panthers, and it's a Saints-Bucs matchup in New Orleans, also in the Wildcard round. There are the DSFL 2020 Players of the Week, and now here is a final look at Wildcard Weekend. It is an intriguing set of games, given that the Colts and the Chargers was a blowout in Week 6 in favor of Indianapolis, who was at home earlier that year. Raiders and Jaguars meet in a rematch also of Week 6, won by Oakland. The Panthers visit the Packers as this legendary Carolina defense takes on the league's top passer and Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay with 2,246 yards. And also from New Orleans, the Buccaneers at 6-4 against the Saints that also finished the regular season with a loss. Then here's a look at the final statistics of the DSFL 2020 year. The passing leaders tied with the exact same amount of yards, go figure, Peyton Manning of Indianapolis and also Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay. And there's the complete list. I was a bit shocked at when I saw the rushing leaders for the regular season. Of course, Leonard Fournette was great, but very few people remember just how excellent the running of Thomas Jones was with the Jets and also as a member of the Bears. Then rounding up the top 5 is Sean Moreno and Jonathan Stewart, the league's leading receiving back with nearly 400 yards in catches is the likes of Atlanta's Devonta Freeman, who should be a challenge whoever plays the Falcons in the second round. Meanwhile, the individual receiving leaders is led by Donald Driver, but there at the bottom, Greg Jennings is the only wideouts with 0 drops. A couple of tight ends had no drops, and those were later in the receiving chart, but Greg Jennings had a whale of an efficient year. Total offense, the Colts, Patriots, and Chargers, no surprise, leads the list. Then you'll see in a moment the defensive studs have been guided by the 07 Patriots and the 2013 Seahawks. The only thing that just completely perplexes me is that if you look towards the bottom of your screen, slotted at the 14 spot is the 02 Bucks, and at the 18 spot is the 2000 Ravens. Madden is so weird sometimes, guys, but it isn't weird considering who makes the playoffs. I I love the teams that have made it. Nearly everybody has won a Super Bowl and is regarded as one of the great single-season teams ever. It all begins next week. So for the rest of our amazing crew and our set of fans who have made this possible, this is Charger Dude 95. We will see you next week.